Last but very important, the web.xml file, which is the deployment descriptor file. So open it. You need not do anything here because I have already configured everything, but I am going to explain each line here. So far in all the sections earlier, you have been configuring the CXF servlet to a particular URL, which remains the same. You define the CXF servlet here from Apache CXF, load on startup, and then the URL that should be mapped to that particular servlet. So it will handle all the requests that come to /services/anything after that. In addition to that, here I have configured a Spring listener because we are using Spring other components in this project. The best way to configure it is to use the context loader listener. This listener will be called by the container as soon as our application gets loaded, as soon as the application context for the application is ready. And this listener will read a context parameter called context config location. Here we are configuring the two files which we have come up with earlier on. These two files have all the Spring beans. The DB context has all the data access layer beans. The WS context has all the web services beans. So the context loader listener will instantiate all the beans in the db context.xml. Then that is the product DAO, the data source, the JDBC template, the product DAO. Then it will create our web services beans, inject the DAO which it has created into the web services bean, and finally the JAX RS server. I will explain the flow once again when we test our application, but in the web.xml, we have the CXF servlet defined as well as the context loader listener from Spring, which will load all the Spring beans and wire everything together.